Live from Edward Alexander Gray Sports Complex on the campus of Lincoln High School, Touchdown Productions, celebrating our 20th season of local high school sports television, presents the Lincoln Fighting Zebra football. Tonight, in the PVL Championship game, your Lincoln Fighting Zebras take on the Placer Hillmen. It's the final PVL matchup on the road to the playoffs, and all the action is coming to you right here, right now. This is your Norcal Game of the Week.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to the 20th anniversary of the Norcal Game of the Week. Tonight, it's only fitting in our 20th season that we bring you the championship game of the Pioneer Valley League from Lincoln High School as the Fighting Zebras face the undefeated Placer Hillmen. This is Steve Sitter, joined once again in the broadcast booth by our color commentator, Paul Brown, and our producer, director, and cameraman is Gilbert M. Dominguez. Paul, the Hillmen are riding an undefeated wave and have already clinched at least a piece of their fifth consecutive PVL title.
So true, Steve, but the Hillmen do not just want to take a piece of the title. They want the whole enchilada. Tonight, they will try for an undisputed championship. Last week, they manhandled the Bear River Bruins 31-6, and now only the Zebras stand in their way from a perfect PVL season.
Both teams enter the game at 5-4 overall, but the Hillmen have run the table on the PVL so far. The Zebras' only loss was a real nail-biter, 36-35, loss to Colfax in Week 2 of the PVL season.
Right, and that's what makes this game so big, Steve. One of Placer's wins was over center with a field goal in the final quarter, 16-15. So parity has arrived here in the PVL, which is something you and I have been waiting for years. And this year and tonight, we'll see it if Lincoln has what it takes to claim a share of the title, or does Placer walk away from it for the fifth time?
There's certainly a lot at stake here tonight with both teams on the field. We'll step aside for the first time. When we return, we'll take a final look at the standings this year and then get ready for the kickoff as the Lincoln Zebras host the Placer Hillmen. So stay with us. You're watching exclusive coverage of the 2016 PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
It's time for the Veterans Day sale at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center in the Fowler Center, Grass Valley. Veterans Day is a great time for home repairs, and B&C has what you need in their monthly circular. Pick it up in front of the store or see it in the Union newspaper. It's B&C True Value Home and Garden Center, where every project begins with a true value.
Welcome back to the Edward Alexander Gray Sports Complex on the campus of Lincoln High School. Steve Sitter and Paul Brown bringing you the PVL Championship game. But first, let's take a look at how we got this far.
So let's take a quick walk around the foothills, as we call it, the PVL Valley League, the Pioneer Valley League football standings. On top, as you can see, Placer at 4-0, and tonight they will play Lincoln at 3-1. As we talked about in the pregame, Lincoln has a chance to take a piece of this championship with a 4-1, but they've got a big road ahead of them to beat the Placer Hillmen tonight. Center, as you see at 2-2, is playing Bear River, who is at 1-3. Really no significance in that game tonight with the PVL. Colfax, however, does play Foothill, so Colfax can go to a 3-2 level, but they'll take third place regardless of how that game comes out. Steve, let's talk about how we got there as well.
Yeah, that's a really interesting matchup with Lincoln and Placer, the only two teams really fighting it out for first. Lincoln wins, they get a share of first. However, when it comes time for playoff seeding, Lincoln will have the advantage, assuming they can win, even though they'll have the same record, and they'll even be in different divisions. There's talk of Placer being moved down to Division 4 and Lincoln staying at Division 3. So all in all, it really doesn't make that much difference, but Lincoln will know. Lincoln will know their one loss is to the other first place team, so that gives them a little bit of bragging rights.
One fact is that we just watched the finish of the JV game between these two teams, and Placer's JV team had not lost a game in 20 consecutive games, and Lincoln pulled out a 14-7 win. There was some excitement in the JV game tonight, and some very enthusiastic fans and players as they came off the field for Lincoln.
Yeah, and that can very well carry over into the varsity game. All the Lincoln fans are
true.
still around.
You betcha. So let's take a walk around the Sierra Football League tonight. The SFL is also finishing tonight, and a fantastic football game going on right now at Folsom. Folsom takes on Oak Ridge, both 5-0. They're followed by Del Oro at 3-2, which is a surprise. Del Oro usually is right there in the mix of it at the end. This year, though, taking 2 losses. Granite Bay is 2-3. Wood Creek 2-3. Rockland 1-4. And I have to say, mercifully, Nevada Union 0-6 this year, still has yet to win a league game in 3 years. Does have a bye tonight. Now, I know that they work so hard, and I was so hoping this would be the year that they would get an SFL win.
But it's tough. You look at those teams. Everyone, even Rockland at 1-4, their only victory against Nevada Union. Rockland is still, you put them in any other league, they're going to do fantastic.
Right.
The SFL, historically and to this day, is still one of the toughest leagues in California. And there's a reason for it. Folsom, Oak Ridge, 5-0. That's going to be an amazing game in every aspect. Those are 2 fantastic teams.
These are big schools, too, Steve. Granite Bay, big school, lots of money, beautiful field. Folsom, Oak Ridge. They field a lot of players, and their programs are huge. And they just overwhelm Nevada Union in the SFL. But
yeah, it's sad considering Nevada Union's history, too. They used to hold their own against these amazing schools in this amazing league, and it just hasn't come together for Coach Houlihan yet.
True.
Yeah, this week, though, we've got Placer and Lincoln, and this is going to be a much closer game than I think a lot of people realize. Last week, both these teams had very definitive victories. Placer beat Bear River 31-6, held Bear River to just 6 rushing yards, 6 total for the entire game. The Placer quarterback Stuck was only 3 for 8 for 35 yards, but 361 rushing yards. Kerrigan had 154, and Perez had 147. They combined for all 4 of Placer's touchdowns, and Placer as a team averaged over 6 yards per carry. Lincoln beat Foothill 41-12, and even though Foothill still got 316 total yards of offense, Lincoln had 416. 243 through the air, 173 rushing. And Ryan Graham with 131 rushing yards and 144 receiving yards.
That's crazy.
275 all-purpose yards for Graham. He is going to be a player to watch out for, and Lincoln also managed to get 3 sacks and an interception.
Graham, for the year, we're looking at 1,262 all-purpose yards. He is a senior. He's number 21 on the field. We'll keep an eye out for him tonight. If they're going to win this football game and beat Placer, Graham has got to have an outstanding game.
Yeah, tonight's keys, number 3, get in the backfield. Placer needs time for the wing T offense to develop. Lincoln needs time to get receivers running their route. So that's going to be important. Key number 2, the Lincoln quarterback, Adams. He can fire the ball if he has to. Lincoln is not ordinarily a passing team despite last week's really interesting results. They only average 128 passing yards per game, but Adams has a cannon, and he can really rifle balls in there if he has to, if he has the time. And key number 1, Lincoln, if they win, they tie for first place in the PVL. If Placer wins, they get first place outright and an undefeated season. And every player on the field right now is thinking about that undefeated season.
No doubt about it. And I'm going to state the obvious here, Steve. Turnovers is always the key in every game. I'm saying that if Lincoln is going to stay in this football game, they've got to force some turnovers. They've got to get some points from their defense. They've got a very good offense, but not such a good defense overall this year. That defense has got to step up. That defense has got to give them a touchdown if they're actually going to win this game against the Placer Hillmen.
Absolutely. A lot to think about in the pregame, and there's going to be even more to think about once the game starts. So we will step aside. When we come back, we'll have the coin toss, national anthem, kickoff, and the PVL championship game from Lincoln High School here on the 20th anniversary season of TouchdownProductions.com.
Big A Root Beer Drive-In is an old-fashioned fun place to eat in Grass Valley. Known for their amazing gourmet burgers, they specialize in the Big A Deluxe burger right out of the 60s and 70s. Made with Thousand Island dressing, fresh produce, and a sesame seed bun. Their milkshakes are hand-blended with real ice cream, and for 50 years, they've made their own root beer. The menu is available inside, on the patio, use the car hops, or take it home. It's family fun at Big A Root Beer Drive-In.
Welcome back to Lincoln High School. Fighting Zebras taking on the Placer Hillmen in the PVL championship game. Lincoln wins the coin toss and elects to defer. So Placer will get the first possession of the first half.
And as we spoke about earlier, Steve, this is a big game from the standpoint that one of these two teams, or both, will come out with the PVL championship tonight. So we're up here in the booth over the stands, this capacity crowd.
As the kick from Julian Diaz, he kicks it very deep, and that's going to fly into the end zone for a touchback. Excellent leg from the Lincoln kicker. Someone tells me Diaz has done that before. So Placer gets pinned back on their own 20 to start things off. And we will see what the wing T has in store for Lincoln. When we saw Nevada Union play Lincoln here earlier in the preseason, the wing T was pretty effective. It went into an overtime game, and NU ended up winning in one overtime. So a sweeping handoff, back up, and a hard arm tackle after a very short gain. And that's Anthony Kerrigan, who was so important last week against Bear River. Now last week, 154 rushing and 1 touchdown for Kerrigan. A short gain of 2 to start things off.
Hey, we got a wide receiver out there.
There's the 2nd and 8 play. There's a slant handoff, and the edge just not sealed. Another short gain, that time Mario Perez, and he'll get tripped up after a gain of 3.
We'll see Perez carrying the ball tonight, the fullback junior, 215-pound. Perez opens a lot of holes as well as carrying balls. Very straightforward runner.
Perez 6 foot 215. Kerrigan 5'7", 155. Very different. There's 3rd and 5. Fake. Look out, hit as he throws, complete down the left side. And a nice open field tackle. And that's Kerrigan once again. Big 3rd down conversion for Placer.
Great throw. Michael Stuke put the ball right where he needed to on the sideline. Michael has gotten better, Steve. We have seen him from week 1 here at Touchdown Productions, and he has become a more efficient passer and just matured as a quarterback.
Yeah, Placer still only averages about 110 passing yards per game. And big pressure from Lincoln up the middle. And that's Perez towards the left side. Lincoln doing a good job of not letting the edge get sealed. And still picks up about 4 yards on the run. And that's Perez's specialty, just those north-south runs.
Off-tackle runs.
The Placer tackles having a hard time out there.
Middle linebacker tonight, inside linebacker Charles Middleton, the senior. We'll watch for him, number 9.
There's 2nd and 6. And great penetration. That was Wyatt Dornbush, the nose guard.
Big.
Gets his nose in the backfield, and that'll result in a loss of 3.
The big Dornbush coming up the middle is right. They didn't get a chance to even handle the ball off hardly.
Dornbush is 6'4", 230. And there's another 3rd and long for Placer. See if Stuck goes through the air. Quickly in motion. And it's a delayed handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan trying to get something on the left side. Finds a hole, gets hit, spins, and is finally brought down about 3 yards short of the first down marker.
Wow, big tackling going on inside. We got a fired up defense. That was, I believe it was number 40, Alonzo Alada, the junior, coming in to finish that tackle off. It's 4th down now. We'll see a punt.
So Placer gets 25 yards total.
Anglada is his name. Alonzo Anglada.
And that snap skips in there. Kind of a knuckleball of a kick. Hits about the 28. Takes a nice Placer bounce and roll. And Lincoln will take over on about their own 17-yard line. Pretty good punt.
Yeah, and pretty good defensive series there for the Zebras. This is a very formidable offense that Placer puts on the field, and the Zebras, they stepped up, allowing only 1 first down. So let's see if they've got an offense to match.
Well, they average 336 yards per game, 10 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. First off is a handoff to Graham. Graham's going to be brought down after a gain of 12, but there is a flag back about the line of scrimmage. I have a feeling this is going to come back.
I believe it is. I think the in motion, let's see what they call here. I think it is an illegal shift. He moved upfield too fast before the ball was actually snapped.
And instead of a 12-yard gain, it's a 5-yard loss. So 1st and 15, although that was our first look at Ryan Graham. And he definitely has some moves as well as some speed. So out of the shotgun. Motion, there's a sweep. Big pressure, and he goes down.
Big pressure is right. That looks like number 13.
Devin Tosti.
Tosti. We've called his name before, huh, Steve?
Oh, yes. He's a very, very effective defensive end. 5'9" senior. But a nice hit, and that will push Lincoln back about 4 more yards.
Tosti doesn't do it with size. He does it with speed, agility.
Another shotgun. Quick slant up the middle, in and out of the hands of Taras Zabishko.
Wow, Zabishko was looking over the middle. He was looking at the defender before he caught the ball. I don't know that he'd made the first down had he caught it.
No chance. He may have gotten back to the initial line of scrimmage, but no way he gets the first down. He was being lined up by the Placer safety. So 3rd and
22.
Just over 20. Motion. Placer shifts accordingly. Empty backfield. It's a keeper. Right side trying to get to the edge, and he will pick up a nice chunky yards, but he is hit somewhat hard at about the 14-yard line. So he picks up, I call it 5 on the designed quarterback keeper. And Lincoln's going to have to punt deep in their own territory.
So the Zebras really never recovered from that first down 5-yard penalty. Couldn't find their way back to the original line of scrimmage, and they'll be punting the ball.
Bit of a high snap, but the punt is off, and a nice strong leg. That'll be caught about the 49-yard line. Nice juke left. Picks up some nice blocks, and he is dragged down at the 35-yard line.
It's pretty bad. There's a flag on the field. There was a block in the back by the kick receiving team. We're going to see a penalty marched off against Placer, I'm pretty sure.
That's an interesting spot where that flag is. It's not near the line of scrimmage. It's not near the punter, and it's not near the reception. At this point, this could be anything from a sideline warning to a block to the back. Well, they're talking to Placer. It's going to be holding against the Zebras.
Wow.
They're going to decline that penalty, take the result of...
And they will decline the penalty, so Placer will take over at their own 35-yard line.
And that is the very right decision. So they start very deep in Lincoln territory. There's a
inside handoff. He's got room.
Wow, quick inside handoff. Great yardage. That'll be about a 25-yarder. And Devin Tosty gets the carry. No one was paying attention to Tosty with Kerrigan in the backfield.
That was that inside reverse. They ran over the left tackle, and Tosty was in the secondary before anybody even knew it.
That's the wing T for you. So now on the Lincoln 13, there's a bit of a screen pass intended for Kerrigan, but Kerrigan was off and running before he caught the ball. That was a perfectly placed throw. Just hit the hands of Kerrigan and bounced harmlessly to the field.
Kerrigan is going to get the majority of the carries, it looks like, tonight. They have him in the backfield and Tosty.
Second and 10 on the Lincoln 13. Delayed handoff to Kerrigan, and Kerrigan is dragged down by Dominic Sanders, who ran a long way to make that tackle. Sanders came in from the left side, and he ran pretty much straight east-west to make that grab, and that actually will push Placer back a yard.
It's Charles Middleton, number 9, again on the tackle, middle linebacker. So it's third down now and 10, Steve. I'm guessing that this is 4-down territory.
Placer has 2 field goals on the year. Stuck back to pass. Good protection. Throws on the run. Caught by Kerrigan. Kerrigan upfield and tripped up at the 5.
Kerrigan going up for that ball. We'll see a replay on this.
Well, there's a flag way back. It's going to be roughing the passer.
And that'll be against the Zebras, so the play will stand.
Actually, upon looking at the spot, they're going to spot this at the 1.
Great catch by Anthony Kerrigan. We'll look at that. He goes up over his left shoulder here, and you can see him catching the ball with his hands. Nicely done. Not the most ideal pass, but a good catch.
Great speed to get up the sideline, too. He almost gets in to the end zone. Stopped about a yard short, and that roughing the passer will march it half a yard closer. Well, there's a little bit of talking going on between the referees. So they march off the penalties. Will be half the distance. Ordinarily a 15-yard penalty. So this will get spotted at the. Well, now they're going to talk about the spot. And down it goes. And this looks like it'll be on the 1 yard line.
1 foot line.
So first and goal on the 1. Placer quickly to the line. Quick handoff, and he is in. That time Morgan Rain Robinson, the 5'11", 225 fullback, will walk it into the end zone for a Placer touchdown.
And Rain Robinson, it took a second for them to call it because I think he just barely got in. Straightforward play right up the middle. Placer gets first blood here. Let's see if they can get the extra point, and they do.
So with that touchdown, Placer, they strike first. They lead 7-0 over the Lincoln Fighting Zebras. We'll be right back on your TouchdownProductions.com Game of the Week.
The Dive is the newest family-friendly restaurant in Lake of the Pines. Their entire menu of burgers, salads, and sandwiches are available for dining in or to take home. Featuring a selection of beer and wines, they also offer catering services for your next event with their new food truck, Dive on the Go. It's The Dive in Lake of the Pines on Comby Road and dineatthedive.com.
Back at Lincoln High School, Placer Hillmen leads 7-0. And Blake Van Dyke, the 6', 185 senior, is back to kick for the Hillmen. Deep kick. That'll be caught on the 10-yard line. Quickly upfield and a nice tackle.
Number 3, James Sweet feels the kickoff.
That was Colin Wright on the tackle.
James Sweet took the ball, ran into a brick wall. So the Zebras will start, though, with better than average field position on the 25.
Beats the 16.
You know, Steve, if you notice, the Zebras don't huddle. They call the plays from the line of scrimmage.
Well, 4 wide and single back. That's going to be a quick curl route caught by James Sweet, and Sweet is wrestled to the ground for a gain of 5.
Sweet is easy to watch out there. He's got the blue on his arms, lower shirt. They're going to spread the field again.
Well, Lincoln runs more of a West Coast offense. Empty backfield, another quick slant route, one-handed catch by Tara Zabishko, and Zabishko is going to fight for that first down, and a flag comes in very late.
That might be against Placer, but what a great catch. Zabisco puts up his right hand and brings it in. You see more of this now, even in the pros. Catches that you never used to see him make with one hand.
That's going to be a face mask against Placer. So a 6-yard pass and a 15-yard penalty. Yeah, that was not incidental. That was the personal foul face mask. That's the 15-yard variety, and that will get them all the way to the 50-yard line. Again, 4 wide, single back, man in motion. Quick handoff to Anderson. Anderson tries to cut upfield, and he's only going to get about 2.
Anthony Anderson taking the handoff. So they do run out of this formation, even though there's no back in the backfield. And you can see they don't take any time. There's no huddle.
There's excellent confidence in the senior quarterback, Isaac Adams. Adams pitches it out. Bobble momentarily by Graham. Graham cuts up field, and he will get about 2 yards short of the first down.
Boy, Graham was good to just pick that ball up and receive the pitch back.
And Adams took a huge hit right before he got that ball out of his hands, too.
So, Steve, it looks like we got about 3.5, third and 3.5 now.
Adams, he does what you're supposed to do. He's supposed to draw the defender to you to give your running back a lane. I don't know if you're supposed to wait quite that long. Here's 3rd and 3. Adams, screen pass. Again, somewhat bobbled, but reeled in, and that will be short of the first down. They'll only get about 1 yard, so call it 4th and 2.
I think Coach Bean will go for it from this place in the field. What has he got to lose here? 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first quarter.
And you're right, they are going for it here. On 4th and about 2.5. Three wide on the left, single back, 1 on the right.
I think they have Zabisco in the back.
And Placer jumped.
Oh, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. Good hard count. We'll draw them off sides. Isaac Adams, the quarterback.
I believe that was the left inside lineman, Dallin Trentman, who jumped. Placer was showing a corner blitz, but that offsides gives Lincoln a free first down. Now a stacked formation on the far side. And now in motion. Fake handoff. Adams runs out of pressure, and he will get about 7.
Nice fake by Adams. I wonder if that was a called play. He was out there all by himself. He was running a naked bootleg, basically, trying to find room around the corner on the right side.
Actually, he was run out of bounds much earlier than I thought. They're only going to give him 3. A 2nd and 7. Same formation from the Zebras. Same motion. This time it's a pitch. Graham shakes a tackle, finds a seam, and he'll actually pick up about 4.
Boy, we talked about Graham earlier, Steve, all those utility yards he gets, running and catching balls. And you can see why. He's a tenacious runner.
Well, he chewed right, and he avoided a huge hit from a Placer linebacker and then picked up 4 more afterwards. So here's 3rd and 4 for the Zebras. Here's a more balanced setup. And that pass is tipped. Carter Benz got his arm up.
I think it was Tosti, actually, number 13 coming in.
You are correct. That was Tosti. There's an official timeout now. And it looks like an equipment timeout as Tosti will have to leave the field. But it's still 4th and 3 for the Zebras, and they are going to go for it.
That's a big play by Tosti coming in there and batting that ball down. Real heads up. He could have kept going and tried to get the tackle, but.
And that was a design screen pass, too. They let Tosti in to try and get an open receiver, and Tosti makes him pay for it. 4th and 3. Kind of an offset eye. Now they switch sides. Adams.
There he is all by himself.
Curl and incomplete.
All by himself out to the right-hand side. Number 21, Ryan Graham. Mike Moll is sitting next to us. He is the vice president and director of athletics here, and he's got his hands in the air. He saw Graham out there all by himself. That was a touchdown that they just flat missed.
Yeah, Adams just misses the throw, results in a turnover on downs, and Placer will take over on their own 31-yard line.
Result in a turnover on downs, 1st and 10 Hillmen at their own 31-yard line.
Placer with a chance to take a 2-possession lead, and in a championship game, you always want that. Stuck, pulls up, throws, has a man. Kerrigan has it down the sideline, and he will be tackled inside the Lincoln 20.
Kerrigan brought down by number 42, Rodriguez. Big gain for the
All the way down to the
Rodriguez.
18.
Rodriguez made the tackle, only guy in the field that could. But I'll tell you, Kerrigan was all by himself. And let's face it, they had time to throw that football. Michael Stuke sat back there, waited for him to clear, and then threw a nice pass.
And we've seen this from Placer, those rare pass plays. Stuck is not afraid to throw on the run. In fact, he seems more comfortable. There's Perez. Perez finds a hole up the middle, and he's inside the 5.
Wow.
Inside the 10 to about the 3-yard line. Number 42, Rodriguez on the
Placer.
Nothing fancy there. Perez just finds a hole. Big hole opened up by the line. And there's another 1st and goal for the Hillmen.
They're just beating the defensive line up. This offensive line is winning the battle.
We're approaching the 1-minute mark here in the first quarter. There's Perez. Perez tries to follow a blocker in, and he is going to be just a bit short, it looks like. Still no word from the officials, and now they will signal him a yard short. And that's just another straight-ahead run play for Perez. And we talked about this last week. Kerrigan at 5'7" is tough to bring down. And Perez at 6 foot but 215 is also hard to bring down. There's Rain Robinson, and Rain Robinson is in.
That's the second one tonight for Rain Robinson by virtue of the fact that he's the biggest guy on the field. 225, 5'11". The fullback does the job he's supposed to do. Morgan Rain Robinson scores the second touchdown in the first quarter for the Placer Hillmen.
With 33.6 seconds left in the quarter. And the nice kick, nice snap, and the nice extra point is good. Placer scores their second touchdown of the night. They lead the Lincoln Zebras 14-0. You're watching the 2016 PBL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
With nearly 30 years of proudly serving our community, Auburn Toyota is expanding to offer more new Toyota inventory than ever before. Chances are we have the exact Toyota model you want, ready for you to drive home today. With many years of combined sales experience and hundreds of new Toyota cars, trucks, 4x4s, and SUVs, now is the perfect time to buy at Auburn Toyota. Come see why for generations Foothill Toyota buyers buy from Auburn Toyota, which is why we like to say Auburn Toyota is the place where the customers come back.
Back at Lincoln High School, the Placer Hillmen take a 14-0 lead over the Zebras with 33.6 seconds left in the first quarter. Here's the kick from Van Dyke. It's a bit of an onside kick, actually, and Lincoln does a good job of falling on it.
Placer saw a bit of a hole there, tried to pooch the kick and recover the ball 15 yards down the field.
That was Miguel Estrada who ended up falling on it just in front of a couple of Hillmen.
Yeah, but Estrada was surprised by the kick, I think, like everybody else. So let's see if the Zebras can get back in this football game.
It's the best opening field position Lincoln has, their own 36. That's a straight up handoff to Graham, wide open hole.
See you later.
Graham to the 20, the 10, and he walks into the end zone for a Lincoln touchdown.
No flags on the field, and Ryan Graham, number 21, says, this game isn't over. Give me the football right up the middle.
That was a strange formation from Lincoln. They had two stacked receivers on the left and two on the right, and that was just a downhill run straight up the middle.
And I don't think anybody touched him. They just made a hole, and he just outran everybody.
7 seconds from the kickoff, and Lincoln scores a touchdown. And the extra point is good by about 40 yards. Julian Diaz makes it a 7-point game, although Ryan Graham helped a little bit. 14-7 is the score with 24 seconds left during the PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
We'll be right back.
The Northridge Restaurant is a proud supporter of the Penn Valley Rodeo and offers you this rodeo special, ribs and a large pepperoni pizza for only $11.99. And don't forget, every Tuesday and Thursday, sample their authentic Mexican food at the Northridge, where you can make reservations or take out. 3 locations to serve you: Nevada City, Bear River, and in Penn Valley. It's the Northridge Restaurant. Check them out online.
Welcome back to Lincoln High School. Fighting Zebras just made this a one-possession game, and let's talk about that run.
Let's go watch the replay here, and you can see right up the gut. Nobody puts a hand on him to speak of. Ryan Graham just shows off his speed and his strength. That is what you call a touchdown, a no-touch.
And a well-designed play from Coach Bean, spreading the secondary of Placer so none of the safeties could get back up the middle to make that tackle. 10 yards up the field, it was a touchdown. Diaz kicks off, and this one will fly into the Placer end zone for another touchback.
Now let me make an observation, Steve. We've seen Placer play. You and I have done these games. I believe this is either our third or fourth this year. Mm-hmm. And what they have a tendency to do is they get a lead and they like to sit on it. Either, if you want to say emotionally or whatever, they get a lead and they let down. And I've seen it this year.
Well,
Let's see now if they can put some points back on the scoreboard.
Well, we saw it at we saw it here when Nevada Union came in. Nevada Union got a quick lead, and at halftime, Lincoln made excellent adjustments. They came back with better defense. They tied it up and eventually lost in overtime, but still, they have the ability to adapt. Too wide for Placer, and Stuck will end up keeping it. He's flushed out, and he's going to get tackled down at the 14.
That's a broken play. Looks like they're going to lose about 4 yards on it.
Lost about 6 yards.
Let's call it closer to 5 yards. Went to hand it off. There was no one there. Had the ball hanging out there like a loaf of bread. He's lucky he didn't lose it.
Well, we like to say the wing T is a deceptive offense, and this time they deceived themselves. So with that will bring us to the end of the first quarter. Placer's going to be looking at second and about 16 when we come back, although they do lead 14-7 over the Lincoln Fighting Zebras. This is the PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com. Back at Lincoln High School, the Fighting Zebras just scored at the tail end of the first quarter, shortening Placer's lead to 14-7.
Zebras need a defensive hold here.
Placer's looking at 2nd and 16, stuck, throws wide open and just out of the reach of Cameron Bemis.
And that is what you call a gift. They had another touchdown. It was right there. The receiver, number 23, that was Bemis, right, Steve? He stopped. He didn't see the ball, didn't know that it was going to get thrown to, stopped his route.
I think what he was doing is he was trying to draw a hold or a pass interference or something. There was some contact upfield with Gavin Menifee, but no flag, and it's an incomplete pass, 3rd and very long. Well, Stuck has some time. Going deep for Kerrigan, and it's batted, but there's going to be a flag.
They're going to call that pass interference, and I didn't see it.
I think that's going to be on Dominic Sanders.
You know,
it's either Sanders or Jacobs down there.
We'll have to take a look at the replay.
Well, everyone's running downfield like it's going to be on Lincoln.
Pass is complete.
Now, they don't get the point of the foul. They get a 15-yard penalty in high school.
I guess that was a completed pass. It didn't
Did they
look
complete
like it was
They must
caught.
have completed the pass. It's across the field.
Wow.
It was.
Signaled against the Zebras. That'll be declined. Result of the play, first down.
So that is a huge completed pass. I don't know how Kerrigan managed to catch that. It looked like that got batted easily from all the way across the field. And now we have a flag coming in from the Lincoln sideline.
That is not going to go over well.
I'm thinking this is either going to be unsportsmanlike or
that usually
that had to have been a magic word.
Yeah, it's going to be another 15 yards on the Zebras, I'll bet.
Unsportsmanlike call against the Zebras.
That helps nobody.
Yusef Madarani has his hands up on the sidelines from around where the referee was. And now the head referee will head over to the sideline to get the player or potentially the coach who made whatever remark they made. And now the coaches are frustratingly going to call a timeout for Lincoln as they figure out how they're going to recover from a 3rd and 16 deep in Placer territory to suddenly a 1st and 10 on their own 39. What a chain of events. You're watching exclusive coverage of the 2016 PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Your car is one of the most important assets you own. And Reeby's Auto Parts is dedicated to helping you keep it in tip-top condition. Reeby's Auto Parts is a family-owned and operated business since 1956. We have a friendly and knowledgeable staff, and as a Napa Auto Parts dealer, you're sure to find the right part you need from either of our 2 Nevada County locations. You can always count on Reeby's to be there when you need us. It's Reeby's Auto Parts in Nevada City and Grass Valley.
Back at Lincoln High School, Placer, in the span of about 5 seconds, got about 60 yards. And they are now inside the Lincoln 40 with 11:46 remaining. Only 14 seconds have gone by in this quarter.
And a lot has happened in that 14 seconds. Lincoln, thinking they're going to get a defensive hold and get the ball back, now is facing another.
There's a handoff to Rain Robinson, and Rain Robinson will bowl his way forward for about 8.
They got to plug that hole up inside there. That was wide open.
Yeah, Rain Robinson and Perez having excellent games on the ground. Kerrigan through the air. And Placer's offense, with the exception of their opening drive, which resulted in a punt, have not been stopped. Big to Kerrigan, late handoff to Tosti, and Tosti is spear tackled by number 9, Charles Middleton. Middleton not fooled by all those fake handoffs.
And we've called his name a number of times already tonight. Middleton's a load inside on that middle linebacker position.
So Placer loses a yard on that second down run. It will bring up 3rd and 2. And now we have whistles. No flags, it looks like. I'm not sure what that was. Oh, Lincoln took a timeout from way across the field. I think Lincoln safety didn't like what he saw. That was a very bizarre few seconds out on the field. Oh, 3rd and 2 for the Hillmen. And we will take a break on the 2016 PBL Championship coverage on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Hey, hon, remember the guys are coming over later to watch the game.
Make a play for winning trays from Portisubs. We have the perfect tray for every game and every fan. So use your app or order online today.
Make Portisubs your destination.
3rd and 2 for the Hillmen. 2016 PVL Championship game. And Placer leads 14-7. Joey Montoya is getting out of the huddle as play is getting ready to resume. Montoya hoping to keep his PVL perfect streak. Rain Robinson on the right side. He shrugs off a tackle, keeps going, and it takes 3 Zebras to bring him down. But I think that was good enough for the first down.
I do indeed. He is doing the load tonight, Rain Robinson. And you know, Steve, I don't remember him getting quite this many carries. He is a junior.
Number 44, Gabe Thomas.
Well, we saw last week it was pretty much all Kerrigan and Perez. Together they had 301 rushing yards. There really wasn't a whole lot else to go around.
Maybe Joey Montoya is saving Perez for the second half.
Well, here's the first down, handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan shoots up the middle. Jukes back left, and that's good enough for another Placer first down, this time inside the Lincoln 20. That's what Kerrigan can do for your offense. That was a fancy individual effort from Kerrigan. Really not a whole lot opened up on that right side, but he made some very quick moves to shoot through the holes while he could. They are on the 17-yard line. Quick handoff to Rain Robinson. Rain Robinson is tackled after a very short gain. Call that 1.5. And Rain Robinson tried to put on some Kerrigan moves, and he just could not quite do it.
We were talking pregame about the fact that the Lincoln defense needs to generate a touchdown if they're going to win this game. Right now would be a good time to knock the ball loose, find themselves a way to get a turnover.
Lincoln has been known to get some turnovers. There's Kerrigan on the right side, shoots up the middle, tripped up, and he will be about 3 yards short of the first down. So that brings up another third down for the Hillmen.
Gain of 5 will bring up third down at about 4. Number 4, Chase Rose on the tackle.
And Placer's been doing a pretty good job converting on these third downs. I believe they've only been stopped a couple times.
Zebras haven't been able to figure out how to stop Kerrigan yet. He's quick, especially after he turns the corner and goes upfield. He's got a nice set of wheels on him.
Well, here's 3rd and 4.
There's
Late
a
handoff to
reverse.
Tosti, and Tosti's not going to get it. He stopped at the line of scrimmage.
There was a reverse in the backfield and took a bit of time to develop. Tosti ended up getting it, but it's a long way now. They're going to have every bit of 5 yards, it looks like, Steve.
And they're actually going to set up for a field goal. I am a bit surprised by this. This is only the 3rd field goal attempt by Placer this year. And this will be
Watch for
a
the fake here.
27-yarder. Kind of a high snap. The kick is partially blocked, it looked like, and it just falls over the bar for a good field goal. I think we'll have to run the replay on that. I think that got tipped at the line.
I do too. I had no idea it was going to make it, and if it wasn't for the officials actually standing under the bar.
About hit one of them. Well, Placer increases their lead to 17-7. It's a 2-possession game once again here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Doug. Saving the whole rodeo.
Back at Lincoln High School, Placer extends their lead to 10 with 8:05 left in the first half. They lead 17-7. And Van Dyke with the kick, and that's going to be bobbled at about the 16-yard line. But Graham picks it up, and he manages to get a bit of a hole. He will dive forward out to about the 33-yard line.
You know, Graham had an outside lane there. He just didn't see it. Ran into the back of the defender. That was number 2, Anthony Anderson. So we'll start here on about the 33-yard line, Steve.
And this is where they started their last drive, just about.
Well, if I was the Zebras, I'd start with the same play that ran for 58 yards. Let's see if the middle's still open.
I think that's what they tried to do, and that got that got stopped very quickly. Graham's lucky he got back to the line of scrimmage.
I think the Placer coaches were thinking the same thing.
2nd down and 10.
I think they'll march it back about half a yard. And another spread offense. 3 left, 2 right. Adams fakes, keeps it himself. He's got a little bit of room to run, and he's going to try to slide at the 36. And he got popped a little bit as he went down.
Makes it 3rd and 7. Looking for the play coming in from the sideline, Coach Bean. He's got something drawn up.
Well, that's 3rd and 6.
No backs in the backfield.
Here's Adams. Adams keeps it again, gets through the line, has a hole, and he's going to get the first down before sliding, and he gets hit again as he goes down.
Yeah, they'll get 15 yards tacked on top of that one.
Yeah, Aiden Barnhart's looking around going, what could I do? I was already going down, and he's right, but that's still a penalty. That's the game of football today. If a quarterback has it and he even starts to go down, you have to you just completely abort the tackle. You have to dive away.
That was Dolan Trentman, and you know, I agree with you, Steve, but he's got to pull up on that. He gave him a pretty good pop after he had slid.
And that was 2 in a row as well. You got to think about that.
So by virtue of the penalty, the Zebras now are in good field position on their own 33-yard line.
They have an official whistle from the Placer sideline there. Just getting Placer back on the sideline and off the field as Lincoln has it in Placer territory. Hand off to Graham. Graham tries to cut back up the middle. He will spin forward, and he'll get about 5 yards out of that.
Yeah, every bit of 5 yards. They're going to give him closer to 7, and I think you just stack it up like that. I'd like to see them actually run Graham out of the I formation. I'm not sure they could stop him.
Well, that's what got the touchdown in the first quarter, especially with that wide set offense.
Putting Graham in the backfield like they have him now gives you a dual threat. You can still throw the ball, certainly.
There's
There
the pass
he
fake.
is.
Going deep. Caught. And touchdown, Lincoln.
Touchdown, Lincoln!
James Sweet with the touchdown reception. And we've got ourselves a ball game once again.
This time they found Sweet.
Going deep. Caught.
He had beaten his receiver, and there was no question when that ball was released. He was heading for 6 points.
That was a nice touch pass. They faked the pass, the quick curl route,
Touchdown,
and Sweet just took off,
Lincoln!
burned his defender.
Give some credit
Yeah.
also to the offensive line, Steve. They gave him plenty of time
And
to
the
get that done.
Extra point is good. And Lincoln pulls within 3 of the Hillmen, 17-14 with 5:44 left in the second quarter. We're watching exclusive coverage of the 2016 PVL Championship game on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
It's time for the Veterans Day sale at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center in the Fowler Center, Grass Valley. Veterans Day is a great time for home repairs, and B&C has what you need in their monthly circular. Pick it up in front of the store or see it in the Union newspaper. It's B&C True Value Home and Garden Center, where every project begins with a true value.
Back at Lincoln High School, the Zebras came roaring back. They pull within 3 of the Hillmen with 5:44 left in the second quarter. Here is the kick from Diaz, and Diaz gets it deep. Is it deep enough for a touchback? Yes, it is. Diaz 3 for 3. What a weapon to have at the high school level. A leg that can just bomb it into the end zone on command. I mean, in college, you don't see that.
So the Zebras came close to holding the Hillmen on the last possession, ended up giving up a field goal, but penalties were their Achilles heel in the last possession. Let's see if they can hold them and keep from penalizing themselves.
Well, Placer quick to the line. 2 wide. And it's a screen pass, but that's sniffed out by Chase Rose. Rose is a safety, and that was a safety blitz. Good awareness by Rose to peel off and stop that completed pass for a loss.
Loss of about 3.
Well, Zebras get a little bit of momentum.
Placer is platooning in now. They're bringing in, that'll be number 6 now in the backfield. Stuke will come in along with Fiora.
That's an inside handoff to Perez, and Perez will get back to the original line of scrimmage on the 20.
And guess who's the tackle? Charles Middleton again, the senior inside linebacker.
And for a player who was reported beforehand to not even be here, he sure is making his presence felt. So here's 3rd and 10. Big opportunity for Lincoln here if they can pull off a stop.
Last time they were in this position, they had that pass play that they missed. There it is again.
And here's Stuck, rolling right, pulls up, goes long, has a man, and it is incomplete.
Knocked down beautifully. Great defensive play.
Dominic Sanders was on Carter Benz. It was 1-on-1, and Sanders just gets a hand in there to break that pass up.
Well done, Dominic. That's going to force Placer to punt the football.
Placer has not had a possession not score since their first of the game. Well, Placer back to punt. There's 2 Zebras back in case this is a fake. Another low snap, but recovered. Kick is up. This will bounce at about the 46, roll and be recovered at the 38. He's going the wrong direction, though, but he turns upfield, gets the lane, and he will end up picking up about 7 yards after the reception. That was a long 7 yards for Dominic Sanders. And Lincoln will take over very close to midfield.
So the Zebras now have had success scoring on their last 2 possessions. One with a long run by Graham and another with a great pass play. Let's see what they're putting in now. Coach Bean, he is a serious strategic thinker.
I was thinking the same thing. He's a master strategist. And this is the best starting field position for Lincoln on the night. Empty backfield for Adams. Adams throws up the middle, caught.
Great pass.
And there is going to be a flag down near the line of scrimmage. And I'm just going to make an observation as we figure out what this flag is, which I'm going to assume is a hold. There's been a lot of heavy blocking well away from the ball. It's actually an illegal man downfield on Lincoln, so instead of a 10-yard penalty, it's a 5. But, Paul, have you noticed there's been a lot of blocks 15, 20 yards away from where the play is developing?
I don't know how they had an illegal man downfield. I don't understand that call. I'd like to know what number that is. We'll look at the replay if we can.
It was a very nice slant, complete to Zabishko. Did exactly what the play was.
It was a beautiful play.
Yeah, it was exactly what the play was designed to do, with the exception of a man downfield who shouldn't have been there. So 1st and 15 instead of another first down for the Zebras. 4 wide. Fake handoff. Rain Robinson was in there. Throws away, intended for Rose, but incomplete. Rain Robinson got in there, flushed out Adams. And it will be 2nd and 15 now for the Zebras. Boy, Rain Robinson's having himself a great game.
He really is. I'm still pondering the man downfield, illegal man downfield in the last series. This is, maybe we can get an official to give us some insight on that one.
Man in motion. Adams fading back. Screen pass complete to Graham. Graham cuts up field, and he is going to be dragged out of bounds, I believe, a couple yards short of the first down. Still a pretty nice pickup on 2nd and long.
You know, I think he stepped out of bounds, Steve. It's going to be about at the 54-yard line.
54-yard line?
I bet. Yeah, the 54. They're going to add that to the field here. At about the 46. He picked up about 4 yards. 3rd down.
It'll be 3rd and 6. Not bad when they were facing a 2nd and 15, though. That was stacked 4 wide on the right side. Screen pass to Graham. Graham throws it downfield, wide open. No! Graydon McFarland, and McFarland couldn't come up with it.
McFarland was in the end zone before he had the ball in his hands.
I mean, that was a bit of a wobbly pass, but you got to come up with that when you are all by yourself.
The ball was coming right down. He just had to look it into his chest. And I'll tell you, there's no one that feels worse than he does in this whole stadium right now.
6'4", 185, tight end. And McFarland's going to be having nightmares about that. 10 years from now, he will be thinking of this play. I guarantee it.
That's a fact.
So Lincoln's going to have to punt. I mean, they can get Placer deep downfield. There is no one back for Placer to receive this. Perfect snap, kind of a rugby-style kick, and that's actually going to hit out of bounds inside the 30. So Diaz was just trying to pick a corner, and that's a college drill that punters will go through. They will pick a corner, just try and kick it out of bounds. They call it the coffin corner, but Diaz misses that by about 20 yards.
So Placer have been handed a gift of at least 6 points with a drop, and now they will take the ball over, leading by 3 points, 17-14. 3 minutes left here in the second quarter.
Late handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan tries to get an edge on the right side, and he's got one. Shoots through a hole, and he's going to pick up about 9.
Number 21, Kerrigan, the ball carrier, gain of about 9.
Nice, well-designed play. And the offensive line held off the Zebras long enough for that play to develop. 2nd and 1. So we are at the 3-minute mark of the second quarter. And Placer will take over Excuse me, Lincoln will. Lincoln won the toss, and they will get the first possession of the second half. Quick hitter to Perez. Perez will bowl his way forward and will pick up the first down plus about 1. That will momentarily stop the clock at 2:46 while they reset the chains. And first down for Placer on their own 40.
Hillmen, I believe, still have 2 timeouts left.
I think they have all 3, honestly. There's a screen pass. I think this was supposed to be a halfback pass. Flipped over to Kerrigan, and Kerrigan is dropped for a 5-yard loss. That was a broken play, as I believe Bemis was going to throw that to someone else. Hugh Hansen was deep downfield. He was the only one, and Placer's going to take a timeout with 2:21 left in the quarter. Placer, that's about the 3rd broken play they've had tonight.
That is a fact, and they will use one of those timeouts.
With 2:21 left, you're watching the 2016 PVL Championship game on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Big A Root Beer Drive-In is an old-fashioned fun place to eat in Grass Valley. Known for their amazing gourmet burgers, they specialize in the Big A Deluxe burger right out of the 60s and 70s. Made with Thousand Island dressing, fresh produce, and a sesame seed bun. Their milkshakes are hand-blended with real ice cream, and for 50 years, they've made their own root beer. The menu is available inside, on the patio, use the car hops, or take it home. It's family fun at Big A Root Beer Drive-In.
2nd and 13 for the Hillmen. They lead the Fighting Zebras of Lincoln 17-14 in the PVL Championship game. Just over 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the half. There's the 2nd and 13. Stuck. Rolling right. Throws deep, and that is incomplete. Some tough Zebra coverage downfield.
That was number 42 out there breaking it up. I don't see his number here on our roster, number 42 with the defense. He said it was Sanders.
That throw was into triple coverage, and the Zebras just did an excellent job making sure that nothing happened with that pass play, and it is 3rd and 13. Here's Stuck. Stuck pulls up, throws deep, and that's picked off. Dominic Sanders comes up with the interception, and Lincoln has it with 2 minutes left. How about that?
He is having a big night, is a truth. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. The Zebras will come back on the field.
Now that's better than a stop. That's a takeaway. And Lincoln only has 1 timeout, but with 2 minutes, you can certainly put together a drive downfield, and they get the first possession of the second half. Late handoff to Graham. No, it's a keeper. Very late handoff.
He gets in yardage.
Way downfield. Down to the 20, the 10, and brought down inside the 5 by Johnny Callahan. James Sweet, I don't know how he came up with the ball, but what a run.
And it was a sweep, Steve, and then a reverse.
And way downfield, Johnny Callahan is down in the corner. He's going to have to be helped up. He is very slow getting to his feet.
We're going to give that to Sweet, but we're also going to give that one to Coach Bean. Coach Bean dialed up the exact right play for the moment, and I'll tell you, Sweet got everything he could out of it.
Got me to bite, that's for sure.
3 yards left, and the Zebras will go in the house at half with the lead.
Well, this might be cause for concern. Johnny Callahan, as well as being their backup quarterback, is also a defensive back. He is one of their better defenders, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he's tough, too. He looks like he's walking off the field with a little bit of help, but wouldn't surprise me he makes it back.
Oh, minute 51 left. You know he's going to want to come back on for the first half. He'll have the entire halftime. to shake that off. He ran a long way to catch up to James Sweet. So Lincoln, first and goal on the Placer 4 with 1:51 left in the quarter. Lincoln has just got the big plays on speed dial tonight. Oh, Graham, the lone back. Sweet, wide left. The only receiver wide left.
They're having a conversation on the sideline with the Placer coaches. So they have yet to start the clock and put the ball down.
Looks like the head referee's writing something down. You usually don't see that until there's an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Well, we got coaches all before. Now they're going to get a timeout. Placer coaches want a timeout.
And they had all three. So while the referee has a chat with the Placer coach, we will step aside with 1:51 left. 17-14 Placer, but Lincoln threatening on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Dive is the newest family-friendly restaurant in Lake of the Pines. Their entire menu of burgers, salads, and sandwiches are available for dining in or to take home. Featuring a selection of beer and wines, they also offer catering services for your next event with their new food truck, Dive on the Go. It's The Dive in Lake of the Pines on Comby Road and dineatthedive.com.
Back at Lincoln High School, 17-14 Placer leads, but Lincoln has a first and goal on the 4 with 1:51 left in the second quarter. And off to Graham. Graham cuts left, blows through a tackle, and he's in. Touchdown, Lincoln.
I'll tell you, this guy, Ryan Graham, is something.
And off Graham.
You're right, he
Graham
blew right past that tackle.
Blows through.
He was an animal smelling meat, and he got in there in the end zone. There was nothing going to deny him.
Touchdown.
They'll kick the extra point here. And the Zebras, at least for the time being, who knows? 1:46 in this game is an eternity. Anything can happen.
And this is the first lead of the game for Lincoln. And now we've got a bunch of activity before the snap. And flags are down. So we'll see who this penalty is on. But offsides, false start.
Encroachment call against.
Offside, so that will be a 1-yard penalty.
Now it's a 1-yard PAT.
You have to wonder.
Why wouldn't you go for it? With 1 yard, hand it to
you-
Graham and see if you can get 2 points.
Well, you take the 1 because 2's not going to do you anything that 1 won't.
In high school, though, kicking that extra point is not a sure thing.
Yeah, you got Julian Diaz out there, though. Diaz puts it up and through.
And with 1:46 seconds.
So 1:46 left in the first half. 38 points scored. 21 of those for Lincoln and 17 for Placer. You're watching the 2016 PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
With nearly 30 years of proudly serving our community, Auburn Toyota is expanding to offer more new Toyota inventory than ever before. Chances are we have the exact Toyota model you want, ready for you to drive home today. With many years of combined sales experience and hundreds of new Toyota cars, trucks, 4x4s, and SUVs, now is the perfect time to buy at Auburn Toyota. Come see why for generations Foothill Toyota buyers buy from Auburn Toyota, which is why we like to say Auburn Toyota is the place where the customers come back.
Back at Lincoln High School, 1:46 left in the first half. Lincoln just took their first lead of the game, 21-17 over the Placer Hillmen. And Julian Diaz back to kick off. He puts it deep. And this one will be another touchback. 4 for 4 for Julian Diaz.
Man with the golden shoes, as Gil Dominguez calls him, and he really is a weapon, Steve. Sticks it out of the end zone every time.
And he's been getting closer and closer to the goal line from the start of the game. I have to wonder if maybe he's trying to punch it right at the 1. 1:46 left, maybe make Placer run some time off the clock. Placer with 2 timeouts, Lincoln with 1.
Wouldn't surprise me if they managed to score before the half.
There's a late handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan's got some room on the right side. He's going to try and juke back, and he gets a little bit more room as he's tackled from behind. And that'll be a gain of about 5.
Number 21, Kerrigan on the ball carry. Gets to about the
And Kerrigan had a lot of room to work with, but just got caught from behind. And Paul, we can see this from up here. When Lincoln's on defense, Coach Bean has replay on the sideline as there's a false start on Placer here.
Gil, if you could get a picture of that right below us, we can see they've got a screen set up where Coach Bean is showing them the plays. The entire offense is watching the replays.
And boy, how handy is that to have a squad full enough to where you can have just a team of offense and a team of defense. There is the bottom of the screen, Coach Bean going through the long run.
What a great tool.
And Kerrigan on the right side, he's going to almost get the first down. Again, tripped up from behind. That brings up 3rd and about 3.
So they can review each play and they can see where the hole is and who is not doing the job defensively or offensively. So you want to know why Coach Bean's so successful at dialing up these successful plays. That may be one of the reasons.
Here's 3rd and 3. Perez, right side. He's hit very close to the first down line. And this will depend on the spot. He is right on that line.
You know, they're letting the clock run, though. 40 seconds left. Now they finally stop it.
We're going to guess there's a measurement coming.
And this will be a first down for Placer with 40 seconds left. Although they still have 70 yards for that touchdown. The clock starts up again.
They'll get one, maybe 2 plays, though. I don't think, well, now it's 33, 32 seconds. This is probably going to be the last play.
Big pressure from Placer. Stuck, pulls up, pressured, and he's going to get brought down.
That should do it. Coach Montoya is going to be happy to go into the locker room and review the first half.
Yeah, that's going to be it. As there's still 12 seconds left, but both teams are going to head off for the half. So what a wild first half. Placer had a 2-possession lead on 2 separate occasions, and the Lincoln Fighting Zebras, true to their name, fight their way to a 4-point lead as we head into the second half, 21-17. You are watching the 2016 PVL Championship game. Placer fighting for an undefeated season and Lincoln fighting for a tie of first place in the PVL right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Northridge Restaurant is a proud supporter of the Penn Valley Rodeo and offers you this rodeo special, ribs and a large pepperoni pizza for only $11.99. And don't forget, every Tuesday and Thursday, sample their authentic Mexican food at the Northridge, where you can make reservations or take out. 3 locations to serve you: Nevada City, Bear River, and in Penn Valley. It's the Northridge Restaurant. Check them out online.
Back at Lincoln High School, the Fighting Zebras not only get first possession of the second half, but they lead the Placer Hillmen 21-17. And Placer is fighting not only to retain first place in the PVL, but to keep their league record at a perfect 5-0. And Lincoln is fighting for a share of that first place title. There's a pooch kick that's going to be caught on the 22-yard line. Sweeping right with it is Sean Manzer, and Manzer is going to be brought down at about the 34-yard line.
Lincoln got some momentum going in the first half. Let's see if it carries over now.
Placer had a string of 3 possessions where they scored consecutively, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And Lincoln drew theirs out a little bit more, and they've been a bit more reliant on the big play, whereas Placer has just been grinding it out.
Well, it seems like since we went in at halftime, the temperature has dropped about 10 degrees. I don't know how much that'll affect the kids.
Hand off to Graham, and Graham will keep driving forward and pick up about 5.
21, Ryan Graham, the ball carrier, gain of about 4 yards.
I know it is affecting our cameraman, Gil Dominguez, who is out there in full, looked like combat garb.
Glad to see all that time, and the commander hasn't dulled his camera senses.
Thank God we're not up in the top of some stand somewhere. We're in the nice, cozy booth here.
They're 2nd and 5 for the Zebras. Zebras look like they are in no hurry to get these plays off. It's a pitch to Graham on the left side. Graham gets a hole, and he is free.
He's
down
gone.
to the 40,
See ya.
30, the 20. Kerrigan's got a shot, but he's not going to get him. Big play once again for Lincoln.
Ryan Graham. That was all speed, Steve. He got a little bit of a hole out there, and no one could catch him. They took a decent angle on him, but he was so fast, he outran the defensive angle just right down the left-hand sideline. Beautiful play by Ryan Graham.
And Ryan Graham makes this a 2-possession game for Lincoln. How about that?
Talk about a turnaround. Golden Shoes back out. Julian Diaz will try for the extra point.
Good snap,
Up and
good kick, and a good extra point. So Lincoln takes 55 seconds to march all the way down the field and score.
I think the Placer team is a bit shocked, to tell you the truth.
I think everyone in the stands is a bit shocked.
28-17. We didn't think the score would be quite this high.
I didn't. You're watching exclusive coverage of the 2016 PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Hey, hon, remember the guys are coming over later to watch the game.
Make a play for winning trays from Portisets. We have the perfect tray for every game and every fan. So use your app or order online today.
Make Portisets your destination.
Just 55 seconds into this third quarter, Lincoln scores a big touchdown on a big run from Ryan Graham. They lead 28-17.
Well, we asked for a good championship game, and that's what we have. Both teams are on a scoring binge. It wouldn't surprise me that Placer gets the ball and comes right back with a score.
They're not generally a big play kind of team. They're a ball possession kind of team, but now they're down by 11. They need a quick score. And Diaz will kick this one, and it will be in the end zone for a touchback.
That kickoff into the end zone for a touchback. First and
So,
10, Hillmen on their own.
this is Placer's 8th possession. 5 of those possessions have started on their own 20-yard line thanks to a Julian Diaz touchback. That is a great weapon to have, especially when you're ahead. Now Placer will try and answer back somewhat quickly. 11:05 left. Quick handoff to Kerrigan on the right side. Kerrigan's going to try and get to the sideline, and he will for a short gain.
Flag on the field.
That's a towel.
Oh, you're so right. That is a white towel in the middle of the field.
It's laundry. You're right about that.
It is that.
It's going to be scooped up by Gabe Thomas. And that actually won't be a gain on the run. Kerrigan just gets back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10. And Kerrigan lately has been pretty much effectively neutralized. And a quick inside handoff that looks like it's Perez, and Perez will get stopped at the line of scrimmage again.
First man through, no good.
That was actually Rain Robinson. And it takes a lot to stop Rain Robinson when he's running north-south. And Lincoln just accomplished it. They'll give him about half a yard.
Let's look for that wraparound draw play that Placer likes to use on long yardage situations just like this. They really haven't been that successful throwing the ball.
That's a late handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan right side. He's going to cut back up the middle, but he's only going to pick up about 3.
And the Zebras are going to get the ball back in good field position. 3 and out by their defense.
Excellent job by both the line and the linebackers to stop those runs. Kerrigan's got excellent skills with the ball, but 2 times he could not find a hole. So Placer will kick from deep in their own territory. 1 man back for Lincoln, standing on his own 40. High snap, and it's fumbled. Picked up, and a rugby-style kick by Josh Jacoby.
Beauty.
And Jacoby manages to get this past midfield. What a recovery.
That was an incredible effort by Jacoby. You don't see it done much better than that. Looked like he wanted to run, and just making the move towards the sideline like he would run gave him time to boot the ball. Golly, Steve, he had to boot the ball 40 yards in the air on the rugby style.
And it got it off with topspin, too. That gave it an initial Placer bounce.
That was crazy good.
From the line of scrimmage, it was only about a 30-yard kick, but he had to earn it. There's a pass down the sidelines, caught! And off to the races, that's James Sweet. Sweet to the 10, and he's in for a touchdown.
And this team is going wild on the sidelines. Who'd have thunk that they'd be putting a whooping down on the Placer Hillmen?
And a stunned silence coming from the Placer side. They did not expect Lincoln to come out firing.
34 points right now on the scoreboard. And that's twice they've come out and in one play scored from the line of scrimmage. Fantastic football coming from the Zebras tonight.
Good snap, line drive kick, and he pulled it.
He
Diaz
did.
pulls it wide right. But Lincoln still leads by 17, 34-17 with a lot of football left in the third quarter. You're watching the 2016 PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
It's time for the Veterans Day sale at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center in the Fowler Center, Grass Valley. Veterans Day is a great time for home repairs, and B&C has what you need in their monthly circular. Pick it up in front of the store or see it in the Union newspaper. It's B&C True Value Home and Garden Center, where every project begins with a true value.
Back at Lincoln High School, the Zebras are putting on an offensive clinic here in the third quarter. Not 3 minutes have gone by. They've got a touchdown, a 3-and-out, and another touchdown. Here's the kickoff by Diaz, and Diaz will put this about 6 yards into the end zone for another touchback.
And Steve, this is a Placer team that was 5-0 in league. I mean, this last year they were 10-0. They're just not used to losing. This team is actually getting a whooping put on them, and who'd have thought?
Let's contrast this with last week when they just completely stopped Bear River's offense. 6 total running yards for Bear River last week. And if Lincoln's not at the 250 mark yet, they are very close.
Oh, they're every bit of that.
So here's Placer from their own 20. Kerrigan in motion, Rain Robinson with the handoff. He will bounce right, has a bit of a hole. He keeps his feet. He's up to the 10, up to the first down marker, I should say, and he's actually going to pick up 11.
Rain Robinson doing the job. That one deserves a replay.
Just bulldozed his way right.
He was stopped 3 times and just would not go down. Kept his body low to the ground. You can see him 1, then 2, and then 3. Nicely done, Rain Robinson, for a team that needs a little momentum right now.
5'11", 225. Very difficult to bring down. So stuck, quick handoff to the right side. I believe that was Rain Robinson again. And again, very close to the first down. He will actually be stopped about 4 yards short. Must have got the knee down.
Why not, too? Let's run our horse right now. Let's just maintain a drive, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball out of the hands of the Zebras.
Perez has been very quiet for Placer. Let's not forget he racked up 3 touchdowns last week. And inside handoff to, I believe that was Perez.
Robinson again. I believe it's Robinson. Let's take a look when they unpile.
You're right, Paul. That was Robinson for a third straight time. And he picked up about 6 on that for another Placer first down. So this is Placer's new game plan, give it to the truck.
And let him get on his back and let him roll.
Now Placer gets this to about midfield. And Rain Robinson is in the backfield again. And faked handoff, this time around is Kerrigan on the left side, has a big hole, cuts back to the left, what a move.
Nice.
Eventually he gets flattened by Gavin Menifee, but that cut back to the right got him right next to the first down marker, pickup of 9.
Kerrigan's got a nice little juke move. Have you noticed that?
He can stop on a dime.
He can, and he moves his shoulders back and forth. You don't know if he's right or he's left. Most backs in that situation have a predominant side they like to go to. Most of the time it's right for right-handed runners. But him, he gets through there, and you never know what's going to happen. He's a tough one to bring down by any middle linebacker.
Rain Robinson, the lone back, and Stuck's going to pass right across the middle and caught. Hugh Hansen with it. And Hansen is going to be dropped with forward progress about 5-6 yards past the first down marker, and another first down for Placer.
And the Hillmen have something going on now. It has silenced this crowd. We're seeing some offense, and we haven't seen since the middle of the second quarter.
That was a well-designed play. Fake handoff to Rain Robinson, get the linebackers to crash forward, leaving that soft middle area open for Hansen, who was cutting towards the sideline. First down for the Hillmen. And off to Perez. Perez right side, has a hole, breaks a tackle, shoots left, and is brought down at the 24-yard line. Oh, there's Perez. We haven't seen him for a while, but he comes up with about a 15-yard run there.
He did. We wondered if they were going to save him for the second half. Michael Stukes has yet to throw the football, and why would you? You've got a ground game going.
Except for that one crossing pattern. Late handoff to Kerrigan, right side. That play got sniffed out by the Zebras, and Kerrigan had nowhere to go. That'll be a loss of about 3.
No need to go outside like that when your offensive line is winning the battle inside, and you've got a great big back like Kerrigan or Rain Robinson.
I'll bring up 2nd and 12, and Kerrigan's going to come off the field, and Perez will come on. Kerrigan was a little slow to get up on that one, but he's going to have a quick chat on the sideline. 6:20 left in the third quarter. And fake to Rain Robinson.
There he is.
Going deep and too high for Hansen.
He got position on the defensive player. He's big and tall.
Hansen 6'3".
And, you know, if he can put his back to the defender and just throw it anywhere in the vicinity, he'll get it.
Yeah, just a bit too high. Hansen couldn't get down the field. Tight man coverage down the sideline. So 3rd and 12. So 3rd and long. Perez, the lone back. And Rain Robinson. Fake. Going deep. Hansen makes the catch.
Hansen doing basically the same pattern we saw in the last play. This time had a better delivery of the football.
And Hansen, I think, got the wind knocked out of him a little bit. He rolled off the field.
Beautiful catch, though, Steve.
He came back. He came down flat on his back, but what a catch.
You know, we've seen Hugh Hansen do this all year long. If you are a college scout, take a look at Hugh Hansen. He's got the size and he's got the hands.
Can always use a tight end with good hands.
You bet. And Hansen can block, too.
Here's 1st and goal on the 6 for Placer. They've been deadly this deep. Rain Robinson, he will bowl his way forward for a gain of about 2. So 2nd and goal on about the 4-yard line.
I think I'd hand it to him again.
Well, Rain Robinson has been a force. He hasn't been stopped.
We have someone on the ground here. I think he's got a cramp. Yep.
I think that might be Rodriguez.
Number 44, Gabe Thomas, I think.
It's Thomas. So we will assess the damage and come back. Placer threatening to make a comeback here in the 3rd quarter in the PVL Championship right here on the 28th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Big A Root Beer Drive-In is an old-fashioned fun place to eat in Grass Valley. Known for their amazing gourmet burgers, they specialize in the Big A Deluxe burger right out of the 60s and 70s. Made with Thousand Island dressing, fresh produce, and a sesame seed bun. Their milkshakes are hand-blended with real ice cream, and for 50 years, they've made their own root beer. The menu is available inside, on the patio, use the car hops, or take it home. It's family fun at Big A Root Beer Drive-In.
Back at Lincoln High School, 2nd and goal for the Placer Hillmen on the 4-yard line. They trail 34-17 here in the third quarter. Here's Kerrigan, right side, lowers his shoulder, and he is in.
They didn't waste any time on that, Steve. They didn't hardly let the defense have a chance to set. And Kerrigan comes right around the corner and into the end zone.
And you have to wonder, Gabe Thomas is the tackle who was down on the field before that play with a hamstring cramp. And you have to wonder, he's usually on that side. You have to wonder if Placer just went right after him.
You bet.
Or the hole that he left. There's the extra point attempt by Van Dyke. It's up and good. And we've got another football game here, Paul. 5:12 left in the third quarter. And the Zebras lead by 10. You're watching the 2016 PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Dive is the newest family-friendly restaurant in Lake of the Pines. Their entire menu of burgers, salads, and sandwiches are available for dining in or to take home. Featuring a selection of beer and wines, they also offer catering services for your next event with their new food truck, Dive on the Go. It's The Dive in Lake of the Pines on Comby Road and dineatthedive.com.
Back at Lincoln High School, Placer Hillmen set to kick off after that touchdown run by Anthony Kerrigan. 34-24 is the score with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Here's the kick by Van Dyke. He will get this out to about the 16-yard line.
Looking over the field.
Oh, that's
trying
Sanders.
To find, to the right, he actually had a wall. He had to get behind it.
And Sanders is going to be brought down. Only about a 5-yard return. Lincoln's going to have about 78 yards to go if they want to score another touchdown.
So let's see if the Lincoln Zebras have the kind of firepower that they've shown the whole game. They certainly have been exploiting their speed, outrunning the defensive backs. Let's see if they continue with that.
Late handoff to Graham. Graham has one block, and he will manage to get down the side, and then he's flipped. How about that strength by Colin Wright at the end of that run? Just flipped Graham over for a gain of about 5. Colin Wright, we haven't really called his name too much. 5'10", 160. And that was a show of strength at the end of that play. Here's 2nd and 5 for the Zebras. Graham leaves the backfield. Now it's empty. And it's a designed keeper. Adams will roll away and then get gang tackled by 3 Hillmen, gain of about 3. And that'll set up 3rd and 2.
Adams is a good little runner, and that was a well-designed play.
And Adams, he's taken a few hits tonight.
Well, they're putting a monster man or a spy, they sometimes call it, on Graham. So when Graham went to the right, they followed him out there with a linebacker, leaving the middle open.
And here's 3rd and short. They're actually going to give this a 3rd and 1. And it's a handoff to Graham. Graham dives forward, and he's got the first down. Oh, Lincoln keeps the drive alive with 3:47 left in the third quarter.
Well, I thought that was closer than just a glance. Like, they're not going to measure. They're just going to give him the first down.
Yeah, Graham got a dive in at the last minute, and that put him over. Oh, new set of downs for the Zebras. 3 wide left. And a quick curl route to James Sweet, and Sweet is wrestled down out of bounds after a gain of 5.
Sweet, we saw earlier, you give him a little bit of room, and he's got the kind of speed that can get down the field.
Well, I don't know if you noticed this, but on the very long touchdown run by Sweet, Kerrigan was on the other side of the field. Now they had Kerrigan right on him, and now Lincoln switches things up to put Kerrigan on the opposite side from Sweet. 2nd and 5. Hand off to Graham up the middle, and nice stop by the Placer line at the line of scrimmage. Looks like only a gain of 1. That might be the best defensive play from Placer's defensive line of the game.
I couldn't agree with you more. Certainly was timely. 3rd down now.
Yeah, Graham, he had a full head of steam. He just kind of lowered his head and hoped to go over someone, and Placer line with the denial. So 3rd and 4. Long, deep, wide open, and caught with the flag.
That's going to be a reception, though.
Taras Zabishko with the catch.
And Jabisco, looking over his right shoulder, brought a perfect pass in. Absolutely perfectly timed.
They actually picked the flag up. There is no penalty on that. That was just good coverage.
And a great throwing catch. We're seeing some real good football tonight, Steve. We do a lot of games that have running clocks. We do games where it's so lopsided in these leagues. But like Gil Dominguez said earlier, there is some parity now. This Zebra team is a good football team, and they're playing a good football team.
Late handoff to Anderson. Anderson left side, has a hole, breaks a tackle, down to the 10, cuts back right, cuts back left, and a Lincoln touchdown. Anthony Anderson.
And again, speed wins out. Anderson picked his spot and then just outran the defender. Boy, he's having a rough night out there. That's Barnhart, number 8, Adrian Barnhart, having a rough night out there.
There's a lot of speed on Lincoln's team. Usually a team with this much speed relies 100% on the ground game, but Lincoln mixes up a bit of a West Coast offense just to open up holes all over the field. And the kick from Diaz is good. 41-24, Lincoln not giving an inch to the Placer Hillmen. You're watching the PDL Championship game on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
With nearly 30 years of proudly serving our community, Auburn Toyota is expanding to offer more new Toyota inventory than ever before. Chances are we have the exact Toyota model you want, ready for you to drive home today. With many years of combined sales experience and hundreds of new Toyota cars, trucks, 4x4s, and SUVs, now is the perfect time to buy at Auburn Toyota. Come see why for generations Foothill Toyota buyers buy from Auburn Toyota, which is why we like to say Auburn Toyota is the place where the customers come back.
Back at Lincoln High School, the Fighting Zebras set to kick off. 41-24 is the lead. And there's a kick from Diaz, very deep. That might go through the uprights. About 4 yards short of a very long field goal, but another touchback. And Placer for the 3rd straight drive. Make that the 4th straight drive going back into the first half, starting on their own 20-yard line. Minute 35 left in the 3rd quarter.
Just about the time you thought Placer was going to get themselves back in this football game, this Zebra team comes up with some excellent offense.
Late handoff to Tosti, and Tosti will fall up the middle, gain of about 4.
I haven't called his number all night.
Well, certainly not lately, not since he got his hand up and deflected a pass, and I think that was all the way back in the 1st quarter.
And there's no question in my mind that best player on the field tonight is Ryan Graham.
I think you might be able to make a case for James Sweet, but it's certainly between those two. And that pass is deflected and still caught by Carter Benz. Wow, what a nice recovery by Benz. And he manages to pick up a first down for the Hillmen.
So we're talking about the player of the game, Steve. This is one of those unusual situations where we can give it to a player on either team. And Ryan Graham in my mind, is the best player on the field so far tonight. It's a team effort, don't get me wrong. And there are a number of excellent players.
And
but
there's still,
he is, when they were down, he carried this team.
And there's still 12 and a half minutes left in this game.
That's a fact.
Quick handoff to Kerrigan, right side. And he's going to pull up, wait for a hole to open in front of him, and he's going to pick up about 6 yards. And that might be the final play of the third quarter, down to 15 seconds. And it'll be close whether Placer can get a play off. And I don't think they are going to. Nope, that's it. So a 17-point lead for the Lincoln Zebras, the largest of the night for either team. And remember, this is a game where Placer was up by 14 in the first quarter. No, 12 minutes of football left, and Lincoln leads 41-24 here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Northridge Restaurant in Nevada City is your closest Northridge to Grass Valley. At 737 Nevada Street, the Northridge in Nevada City is a comfortable family restaurant you'll be happy to go to. Make reservations or take out.
With 3 locations to serve you in Nevada City, Lake of the Pines, and Penn Valley, you are just a few minutes away from a Northridge restaurant. Visit us online at northridgerestaurant.com.
We are back at the final quarter in Lincoln. Here's the 2nd and 4 play, late handoff. No, Stuck has it. Going deep, has a man, has to pull up, and he does not come up with it. Excellent coverage by Carlo Rodriguez. He was beat initially, and that throw was short. Carter Benz had to stop and wait for it.
And I'll tell you, Michael Stuck just didn't put enough on that football. It's coming back, though, it looks like.
Oh, no, it was an incomplete pass.
Incomplete ball. He just didn't put enough under it.
He got too much under it, I think. Rodriguez was beat, but he made the most of that time. So 3rd and 4. 41-24 is the score. Lincoln was not the favorite in this game, according to Max Preps at least. In the section, Placer was about 20 points higher seated. Here's the 3rd and 4. Looking left, complete to Kerrigan. Kerrigan shoots his way to the left, and he's got a seam. How about that? 2010, this is going to come back, but it is going to be.
There's a block in the back downfield after the ball was caught.
I don't think that's a block to the back. I think that is just a flat-out hold away from the ball upfield.
But it was after he got the first down.
You can't just tackle a guy unless he's got the ball, and that's what happened. So that's going to be 10 yards from the spot. It'll still be a first down for Placer, but it'll be a first down on about the 30 instead of a first down on the 1.
Holding call.
And that is the proper call. And this has just been a crazy game.
It's going to be 1st and 10 Placer at the Zebra 30-yard line.
Just great running by Kerrigan. Kerrigan had almost no room down the sideline, and he managed to squirt through. Just a nice design play, too. Fake the delayed handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan full head of steam down the sideline. Great pass from Stuck. So first down on the 30. Yeah, there's an inside handoff to Rain Robinson, and Rain Robinson will pick up about 9.
He's a bull, isn't he? He puts his head down and runs real low to the ground.
I certainly wouldn't want to be the one to make an open field tackle on him, that's for sure. So here's 2nd and 1. And 17-point lead for the Zebras. That makes it a 3-possession game with 11 minutes left. Here's Stuke looking left, throwing deep, has a man up and incomplete. Intended for Benz, and Benz came down hard on his back. He is a bit slow to get up, but Benz will jog up.
Went to the back of the end zone, knew where he was going to stay in bounds, and then made a jump for it. If he had had another 5 feet, it easily would have been a touchdown.
That was an interesting call on 2nd and 1. And that makes it 3rd and 1. Does stop the clock at 10:58. Quick handoff to Rain Robinson. Rain Robinson is still up, and he is still moving. How about that? He's going to get up to about the 14-yard line. That's good for another Placer first down.
Let's take a look at the stats on Rain Robinson tonight. He's a junior running back. He's on the board. I beg your pardon, he's a senior. He's 5'11", but he's 225.
And he has 2 of Placer's 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, just get in front of that guy.
First down, fake handoff to Perez, completed pass to Kerrigan. Kerrigan is dragged down out of bounds, gain of about 4.
Pass complete to number 21, Kerrigan, brought out of bounds by number 50, Cody Sharp. 2-yard gain, 2nd down and 8.
Clock starts to tick down. It's starting to be the friend of the Zebras.
Kerrigan just made it out of bounds on that one, so that does stop the clock at 10:27 for the moment.
If they're running out of time.
There's a handoff to Perez, and no, excuse me, that's Rain Robinson.
And he'll score.
Rain Robinson into the end zone for a Placer touchdown.
He's a bowling ball. That guy,
wow.
He just puts his shoulders forward, and he just keeps those big legs driving. I'll tell you what, if I'm heading to any place downtown, I'm going to get on that bus.
You know, you're not going to get tackled on the way there, that's for sure.
That's a fact. So let's look at the extra point here. Down and good. That's going to make it 31-41. 10-point game with just under 11 minutes left, and this is still anybody's football game.
Yeah, Placer's got a lot of life. They just have to force Lincoln not to score a touchdown. Lincoln, their past 4 possessions going back into the first half, have scored a touchdown. And Placer will get set to kick off with 10:21 left in the PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Hey, hon, remember the guys are coming over later to watch the game.
Make a play for winning trays from Portisets. We have the perfect tray for every game and every fan. So use your app or order online today.
Make Portisets your destination.
Back at Lincoln High School, Lincoln just took a timeout to address the possibility of an onside kick. We'll see what happens, and it is going to be a bit of a pooch kick into a soft spot. That's going to be a sliding catch on the 27-yard line. If you're Placer, that is not
what they had in mind.
Not what they had in mind, but still not a bad turnout. You don't give Lincoln the chance to return it, and Blake Van Dyke, the Placer kicker, is yet to put one into the end zone on a kickoff. So their own 27 is not a bad place to start. But Lincoln has started their previous 3 possessions fairly deep in their own territory, with the exception of their one start in midfield, and they've scored a touchdown on every drive. Placer just needs to stop, and they do have all 3 of their timeouts. So 10:19 left to play. Here's a pitch to Graham. Graham shoots up the middle, and he is brought down hard by 2 Hillmen for a gain of 1.
One of those Hillmen being number 42, Dalton Trentman. Boy, he put a whack on him, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a nice hard tackle. Trentman, I believe, is getting a little bit of his frustration of the score out on the ball carrier.
Placer needs to get the football back. They've got to deny them a score.
Here's the 2nd and 8 play. Empty backfield. And a quick inside screen pass and another hard tackle. This time made by Kabongo Scott. And Scott, we usually call his name a bit more often.
So this is a big 3rd and 2 here. If Placer can hold, they'll get the ball back in some reasonable position. Quick pass out.
Quick curl, and it's incomplete, intended for James Sweet. And Sweet just had that hit off his hands.
He had enough for the first down, too, so this is going to be a punt now.
And this will be huge for Placer, exactly what they needed. 9:07 left in the 4th quarter. It's still a 2-possession game, and that's really the only reason Lincoln is content with punting here. And that was a bit of a low throw. It was just a quick curl route, but for a wide receiver, you got to make that catch. And look at that kick. It spirals through the air, caught at the 25-yard line. There's a block to the back. Still on his feet is Hansen. This is all going to be coming back anyway. Still kind of a nice return, but a huge block to the back at the 30-yard line. That's going to push Placer back to the 15 potentially.
No question about the call either, Steve. Everybody in the stands could see it. That was
a few of the spectators called it.
Yeah, number 30. That was number 33, Colin Wright. Sometimes you get an angle on for a block, and you just can't do anything else but just give him a shove, and you're going to get a penalty for it.
Well, it doesn't take a whole lot, especially if you hit a guy who's running full speed or at least getting up to full speed. Any little shift in weight. And how about this? Placer again. Not a touchback, but still starting on their own 20. And Stuke throws and caught by Hugh Hansen. And I got to say, Hansen made that catch right at the first down marker before the sticks were even set up.
You want a big play, Hugh Hansen is your man.
Actually going to give him 11 on that, so another first down, and the sticks that just got into position are going to have to shift again.
Clock is running.
Yeah, down to about the 8:30 mark. Just a 10-point lead now for the Zebras. Hand off Perez. Perez with a hole. Perez with a hole and blockers, and he's going to get across midfield. And now Placer's getting the big plays.
The Zebras cannot sit on a lead. They don't have that big a one. 8 minutes left. There's only 10 points. 10 points is nothing in this game.
No, not at all. Placer in Lincoln territory, the Lincoln 48-yard line. 8:15 left in the 4th quarter. Here's Perez. Perez up the middle, and he'll get stopped after a gain of 4. Big tackle. Under 8 minutes. And again, still a 2-possession game. Placer not content to score. You have to score in the next 3 minutes. You have to. Second and 6. Stuke throws in the air. Has Rain Robinson. Rain Robinson with the catch. Keeps his feet, and he gets down to the 24-yard line.
And there's a flag now on the play. I think they're going to get another 15 for a late hit. Came in from the back judge.
And you are correct, Paul. That's going to be a personal foul. That's going to be half the distance from the 25. That'll march him down to about the 12.
Placer Hillmen are in business.
Actually, it won't be 15. It'll be half the distance.
Rain Robinson making a rare reception. But what a time for it. Just getting a look at his receiving totals. That's his first, as far as I can tell, his first catch of the season.
And that's basically coming from Max Prep.
Hand off to Rain Robinson. Rain Robinson is spun down at about the line of scrimmage. Yeah,
I'll tell you, Steve, if Placer was to go on and win this football game, you'd have to hand the ball to Rain Robinson.
No question. No question at all.
He has carried this team here this second half. They figured out that they can hand him the ball and get yardage every time, basically, and now they're having enough confidence in the man to throw him his first pass of the year.
2nd and 10 on the 13-yard line. Stuke looking left. Throws across, complete to Hansen. Hansen keeps his feet. He's going for that first down, but he's going to be short by about 3 yards. So you look at Placer's roster, and there are plenty of wide receivers to be found. You got Morphin, Bemis, Chiafoli, Wilson, Wilkins, Benz, Johnson, Lowry, Barnhart, Pello, and Tupin. And your best receiver so far has been Anthony Kerrigan and Rain Robinson.
False start against the Hillmen.
So there's a false start against Placer, and instead of 3rd and 4, it's going to be 3rd and 9.
Well, don't leave Hugh out of that equation there. Hugh Hansen.
That's true. Hansen
is their big receiver.
And Tosti. Tosti's gotten a few thrown his way as well. So here's 3rd and 9. Clock running down. We're about the 6-minute mark. Placer backfield is kind of slow to get this play in. And here's Stuke. Stuke pulls up, rolls right, has room, throws across, and it's incomplete. Tosti was there at the corner. And now Placer's going to bring out the field goal unit.
Well, they have to get a field goal to tie if they get a touchdown. So they need to get it either now or they need to get it later. This is interesting from the standpoint that this is not a short field goal.
No, this is going to be a 29-yard attempt. But don't forget, Van Dyke has knocked down a 27-yarder earlier in the game. So this is about the same from the left hash mark. Clock is stopped at 5:57. Good snap. Kick is up, has the distance, and it is good.
Wow! We got a one-score football game now, 34-41.
There's 5:52 left. Placer has all their timeouts. They don't have to try for an onside kick, but they do need at least a stop here in the PVL championship game. You're watching exclusive coverage of Lincoln Zebra football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
There's Joey Montoya. We see him marching up and down the sideline. Montoya knowing he is now within shooting distance of tying this football game back up. His team kicking off needs to get a stop in, and these Zebras, they have had a great offense this second half.
Now let's not forget that Placer is fighting for their perfect season. This kick is caught at the 5-yard line. And nice stiff arm before being run out of bounds. That was Dominic Sanders. And will give Lincoln decent field position about the 27-yard line. This is where they started their last possession when Placer got their only stop so far of the half.
And this is Ryan Graham time. This is when you need to bleed some time off this clock. A good sustained drive down the field. Keep the ball on the ground if you can, and let's bleed this clock down for 6 minutes and finish this. That's what Coach Bean is saying to his crew right now.
And there's that stacked formation. We saw that big touchdown run in the first half. There's the handoff, same play. Graham leaping and brought down.
21, Ryan
Gained about 4 on the play.
Not much there. He found himself in a jam after he got the football.
That was the identical play with less than a minute left in the first quarter that Graham went about 70 yards to score on.
There's not going to be any big hurry.
No, not at all. As, we get down to about 5 minutes. 2nd and 6. And off to Graham. Graham runs downhill, and he's going to be stopped about a yard short of the first down. So it will be 3rd and 1. Well, depending on the spot, where the referees are, this will be very close to a first down.
Steve, you and I have probably done 30 football games over the last few years, and I got to tell you, this is perhaps one of the best ones we've ever seen.
I mean, this year we've had a lot of close games, and as they measure this.
In fact, last time we were here at Lincoln, we had an overtime game, which is one of the first games we've ever had in overtime.
Which came down to a 4th and 1 direct snap to Graham, who fumbled it, and that was the ball game.
I wondered if you'd remember that game. That was
I'm not going to
very
forget that
interesting
game.
But for a championship football game, you expect this kind of intensity, and we're certainly getting it delivered tonight by both teams.
Placer in the first quarter led this game 14-0. And since then, Lincoln has rallied to now lead 41-34.
It looks like they're going to have just enough.
Oh,
yeah, they got it by the
wait
nose
a minute.
of the ball.
Yep, by about 2 inches, they get the first down. So now, if you're Placer, you got to start thinking about those timeouts that you've been saving up for just this occasion. 4:52. The clock will stop when the sticks get readjusted on the sideline. And there it goes, 4:50 and counting.
Up here in the announcer's box, everybody's looking at the clock as much as we're looking at the game.
There's the stacked formation again.
Ryan Graham time.
Graham gets it, and he is going to be dragged down at the line. Nice tackle by Chase Laguna Scott.
Now, I'm thinking that Joey Montoya, coach for Placer, isn't going to start burning his timeouts until we get under the 3-minute mark at least.
Well, we're getting close. It's at 4:12. That was a 1-yard run. Stacked formation yet again. And there's a screen pass over to Zabishko. Zabishko's going to try and get to the sideline, and he is going to be tackled inbounds, short by about 2, so a gain of 6 yards.
Smart play by Zabishko. He stayed inbounds.
He actually dove inbounds.
Yeah, you could see him. He wasn't going to break that out-of-bounds barrier, keep that clock rolling. Very wise.
Actually, a good spot for Lincoln. It's going to be 3rd and 1, 4 wide on the far side.
This is going to be a quarterback keeper.
Yes, it is, and he's going to get the first down. With 3:28 left, the clock will momentarily stop.
There is no way he was going to throw that football. There was no one in the backfield.
And now the clock will continue its march down. 3:25. A new set of downs for Lincoln. And Placer still with all their timeouts. They are not using one.
Boy, now would be an ideal time. Actually, after the first play, I'll bet you Joey uses it, especially if they keep it short.
Pitch to Graham. Graham cuts up the middle. He's going to be hit in the backfield and then eventually dragged down at the line of scrimmage.
Now's the time to take the timeout. No, he's going to let it run.
That was a good stop by his D. No gain on the play. 2:49 now remaining. And Lincoln very slowly getting to the line.
I don't understand why he didn't take a timeout. They're bleeding it
We're
right
at
down to the
2:30.
second. Yep. There's the reverse.
Reverse to
He's
Sweet.
got room.
Sweet, right side. Cuts back up, and I think he's very close to that first down. Oh, he's going to be 2 yards short. 2 yards short, and he got hit out of bounds, so the clock stops. He was going for the first down in the dagger. Instead, Placer has 2 shots, and if you're Lincoln, what do you do if you don't get this? If you get stopped at the line, do you go for it and go for the victory, or do you just punt him deep?
Oh, no, I think you go for it, to tell you the truth, Steve. You can give them back the football in this place on the field and put your defense in there and tell your defense to hold. They're still up by 7 points.
And there's a first down and more. Nice open field tackle by Colin Wright. But that's another Lincoln first down with 2:13 left, and Placer has to take a timeout here. They have to.
That might be the dagger right there.
There's still hope for a takeaway, but that's about it.
Give it to Ryan Graham and let it get
And there goes
first down.
There goes the clock. We're approaching 2 minutes. Montoya doesn't take a timeout.
I'm not sure what he's thinking. It's first down now.
Possibly the last set of downs Lincoln
the Zebras
needs.
can bleed the clock down to nothing, I believe. They don't even need to get another first down.
That's a keeper. That's a keeper, and that's going to be a loss of 2 yards. And now Placer takes the timeout with 1:44 remaining. 41-34, Lincoln leads. And they will have 2nd and 12 when we come back. You're watching the 2016 PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week on touchdownproductions.com.
Your car is one of the most important assets you own. And Reeby's Auto Parts is dedicated to helping you keep it in tip-top condition. Reeby's Auto Parts is a family-owned and operated business since 1956. We have a friendly and knowledgeable staff, and as a Napa Auto Parts dealer, you're sure to find the right part you need from either of our 2 Nevada County locations. You can always count on Reeby's to be there when you need us. It's Reeby's Auto Parts in Nevada City and Grass Valley.
Back at Lincoln High School, it's 2nd and 10 for the Zebras. They're really not too concerned about the score. They're up by 7. They changed the formation. And now we have flags. This is going to be illegal formation, I believe, or at the very least a false start. That's going to be a 5-yard penalty and stop the clock anyway. Or I suppose keep it stopped coming from a timeout. And the officials are going to talk about this. There might be an illegal shift, or they might just pick this flag up, depending on how this talk goes.
Pretty rare you see a discussion on it.
Either way, I would think they were going to put 1 second back on the clock. I believe it was 1:44 at the time of the snap. And they're still having a discussion. Here we go, and it does not.
You know,
Steve, they're not picking it up.
They might go third.
No, they are. They are picking it up. No penalty.
You know, if they go to third down here, they just might put Golden Shoes Julian Diaz out there and try a field goal. Why the heck not?
He's got the strength for it. It's just a matter of does he have the accuracy to pin it straight down the middle. All right, so we will do this all over again. They pick the flag up.
2nd down.
2nd down. Same thing, change the formation. Graham the lone back. Graham the handoff. Graham tries to shoot right, and he's rolled down. That was a nice tackle by Rain Robinson, and Placer takes their 2nd timeout. That play took 5 seconds for -3, -2 rushing yards. And Placer, with 1 timeout left, is a play away from getting possession back. You're watching the PVL Championship game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Thank you, Doug. Saving the whole rodeo.
Back at Lincoln High School, 3rd and 11 for the Zebras. They lead 41-34 with 1:38 remaining in the 4th quarter. If Placer manages to pull this out, they will have sole possession of first place and an undefeated league record. If Lincoln holds on, they will tie at 4-1. Sweeping handoff to Graham, right side, cuts up the middle, and he is stopped short, but he falls forward. He is about a yard or two short of the first down, and Placer takes their final timeout. Big run from Ryan Graham right when they needed it, but they're not out of the woods. 4th and 2. Placer's out of timeouts.
We're going to stay here. We're going to stay right here because I'll tell you, this is going to be a very interesting timeout for Placer. Now they're out of timeouts, and they've got to figure out a way to stop the Zebras on this 4th down play. Now the question is, does Coach Bean go for it? Or maybe he pooches something down and tries to lock them into the corner.
I'm not going to spoil it, Paul, but I am about 80% sure he's going to go for it.
Why not try the field goal?
I personally would let Diaz out there and try the field goal. He's missed an extra point tonight. Lincoln on the season has not attempted a field goal, and now is not the time to try.
Well, whatever happens here, this 4 yards or 3 yards,
2 yards,
will make or break this football game.
4th and 2.
Placer can't stop the clock again. So if they can figure out a way to come
empty
up with
backfield.
2 yards.
Graham in motion. Placer does not jump. And Lincoln calls the timeout.
They're going to go for the field goal.
I don't know. I just don't know. Lincoln, I believe, has 1 timeout left. They may have had one to burn.
Well, Golden Shoes Julian Diaz.
He's not on the field.
He's not going out in the field.
He hasn't been practicing either. There's no, you don't send your kicker out there who has never attempted a game field goal at all this year to try and win you a game. You can't do it.
Well,
I absolutely understand.
I would agree if the game was tied, but the game's not tied. They're up by 7 points. This would just solidify the win. This would basically put it away. Now, if you don't make this, they get the ball in the same place as if you miss the field goal. So I think the field goal is actually a better option.
Either way, the game is over if you're successful, and Coach Bean thinks that he has got a better chance of gaining 2 yards than of letting his kicker attempt what would end up being about a 47-yard field goal. So here it is, 4th and 2. Graham, the lone back. 2 wide on each side. Pitch to Graham, left side. He's got the first down. And more. He is in. Touchdown, Fighting Zebras with 1:29 left. And the Fighting Zebras will end up tied for first place with the Placer Hillmen in the PVL.
And what started with the JV game, the JVs came in here. The Placer Hillmen had a 20-game winning streak, Steve, and it was stopped tonight by these Zebras. And now again, the underdog, the Lincoln Fighting Zebras, have beaten the mighty Placer Hillmen. Unbelievable. Who'd have thought?
Why, you, Paul.
Me. I told you they were going to win tonight.
There is going to be an offsides call on Placer, as they were really eager to block that kick for I don't know why. So that'll be a 1-yard penalty. There's still 1:29 left, but at this point it's academic unless for the first time tonight Diaz does not kick off into the end zone. There's the kick. It's up. It's good. 48-34 with 1:29 left.
Wow.
Well, Paul, I think we can finalize player of the game now, especially with that run. It's got to be number 21, Ryan Graham. So we will come back and finish up this game right here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
It's time for the Veterans Day sale at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center in the Fowler Center, Grass Valley. Veterans Day is a great time for home repairs, and B&C has what you need in their monthly circular. Pick it up in front of the store or see it in the Union newspaper. It's B&C True Value Home and Garden Center, where every project begins with a true value.
Yes. Back at Lincoln High School, 48-34, and Lincoln kicks off. Diaz will kick this off into the Placer end zone. I have forgotten the number of times in a row he has done that. I want to say it's 6, but it could be 7. And Placer, for the 6th consecutive possession, will start on their own 20-yard line. And you go for it. You obviously have to. On the off chance you get a very quick touchdown, and then the onside kick, and then another quick touchdown. Placer's out of timeouts with 1:29 left in the game. But there's still a chance, as they say. Here's Stuke. Pressured. Screen to Kerrigan. Kerrigan with the catch. Has some blockers. He's going to be tackled from behind. He gets the first down, but the clock will momentarily stop at 1:20 while they move the sticks.
48-34.
And now Stuke quickly snaps and spikes. And there's a flag down. There's got to be either too many or too little players on the field for Lincoln. That's interesting. So that's a free 5 yards.
82 points total tonight, Stephen. Rarely do we see a game that has that many points scored in a high school football game.
I guessed 63, and that was the highest of all of our predictions, and I was short by 19.
Yeah.
So here's 1st and 5. And now Stuke will spike it after the 5-yard gift. Down to 108. Still mathematically possible for a win, but you got to get yards in chunks bigger than 10. The Lincoln fans start to head out. Back to the warmth of their cars, no doubt. Here's 2nd and 5. Stuke fakes, pressured, rolling out. Has to get rid of it, and it's complete to Tosti, but Tosti's brought down in play. Another first down. Clock stops at exactly 1 minute.
That's Hugh Hansen, but the same thing applies, Steve.
Hansen, not Tosti. Good call, Paul. And there is the spike. 57.7.
As our game winds down, we want to once again congratulate the JV Zebra football team who won the
Brings up 2nd and 10, 57 seconds, and the odds keep creeping closer and closer to 0.
There's no give up, is there?
Got to try, at least make this another 7-point game. It looks better anyway.
It does.
2nd and 10. Stuke rolling. Has time. Slings it out, and it's picked off.
He saw that one coming a mile away. You can see him creeping up on it.
Carlo Rodriguez. Intercepted at 46.1 seconds. That will do it. I'm sure that flag is going to be unsportsmanlike conduct.
Excessive celebration, but who's to blame them? They just took down the mighty Placer Hillmen, and they will head into the playoffs with some momentum.
It was a good pass, but it was just picked off. It was telegraphed was what it was, and that will put the nail in the coffin. Now, that penalty will back them up to their own 45, but they're just going to take a knee. One knee should do it with 46.1 seconds left. Lincoln Fighting Zebras will end their season as co-champions with the Placer Hillmen at 4-1.
Steve, let's hand a lot of this to Chris Bean. We could easily give Coach Bean the Player of the Week award because it was a beautifully conceived game. He called it. He got the kids motivated. You know, I remember Coach Bean when he was at Bear River. And
had him for a couple classes, too.
Yeah, I remember we were surprised when he didn't get the head coaching job, and he came over here, and he has transformed this program into a winner. And look at the field right now. That is the coup de grace. Congratulations, Chris Bean. Congratulations, Lincoln Zebras. This is the biggest win that you've had in a number of years.
At the half, it was 21-17, Lincoln. Placer got off to a great start. They were ahead 14-0. That was the last time they would have the lead. Lincoln would come back, score consecutive touchdowns, and Placer would not ever recover the lead.
Player of the game, Steve?
Well, if we're not giving it to Coach Bean, we're going to give it to number 21, Ryan Graham. He was the only running back, with the exception of the few keepers from Isaac Adams, but Adams didn't have to go through the air at all. Graham was very effective on the ground. The Placer rush defense, which we saw shut down Bear River last week, just was not here
Look
this
at him
week.
in the corner over by the end zone.
And I've been in a lot of positions. I've been in the first place position where a spoiler has come in and ruined what would have ordinarily been a historic run, and I've been in the spoiler position. And it's really hard to say which one feels better. It's somewhat of a shallow victory, knowing that you're sharing the championship spot with someone. But 4-1's an excellent season, and especially when you know you're going to be in a higher division. There's talk of Placer dropping to Division 4 for the playoffs. Lincoln more than likely will stay in Division 3. But staying with the looking towards the playoffs, beating an undefeated Placer team, which was higher seeded than you coming in, that's an excellent way to end a season.
And with that said, we're going to go down on the field, find Ryan Graham, and hand him a trophy. That will be probably off camera, but he certainly is well-deserving, as well as many of the players on the Lincoln Zebras.
And this is a far cry. I remember the first year Chris Bean came in and just had a horrible season in the PVL. He went winless even in the preseason. And compare that now, 3 years later, or 2 years later, I should say, co-PVL champions. There's really not a whole lot you can say. Lincoln, it just has a great team. Isaac Adams is a senior. Ryan Graham is a senior. James Sweet is a junior. We will see him next year. And Chase Rose is a senior. And Anthony Anderson is a senior. Sweet's going to be the leader next year. It's really up to him to bring the tradition of winning that is born this year to next year's squad. So as we see Lincoln celebrating on the field, we will head on out of here.
They're taking pictures down there now. Media is gathered around them. Biggest win, perhaps in school history. I don't think I'm too far off saying that.
No, certainly not.
And certainly the first playoff game that they have. We will follow this Lincoln Zebra team. If they do have a home game, Touchdown Productions will be there.
Beating Placer tonight will go a long way. And
Steve will be there even if Gil doesn't bring the cameras. I'm coming to watch this team play.
Well, Placer's also got themselves a playoff spot. Seedings will come out on Sunday, and that is when we will know where we're headed next week. But with Placer in the playoffs, Lincoln in the playoffs, one of these teams is going to get a home game, and we will be there.
We'll be there.
So for Gil Dominguez, Paul Brown, I'm Steve Sitter from Lincoln High School saying good night, and we will see you in the postseason here on the 20th anniversary season of the Norcal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Good night, everybody.